from sunny Arizona, sunny and very warm Arizona right now. It feels so nice. I hope you're well and ready for this practice. So today in our Yin practice, we're going to be doing a little bit of everything. We'll move through mostly the full body, but we'll work a lot in the upper body. The season of autumn is a time to ground. We work with the metal element, we work with the lungs and the large intestine according to traditional Chinese medicine. So the meridian lines through the body are lines of energy or qi that run through the body and stimulate our different organ systems depending on the posture that we are in. So today I would like to start, well first let's make sure that you have all your props. The props in Yin are used to allow us to maybe sometimes go a little bit deeper into postures, but also at the same time to support our bodies to not go so far or so deep into a posture, so we can find that right edge. So you'll need a bolster or maybe a pillow or two if you have at home, or a cushion, maybe a couch cushion, just kind of anything that you can find. It doesn't have to be a perfect bolster. You can work with so many different props in Yin. A block, maybe one or two, or maybe like a thick book, or a blanket or a towel that you roll up or that you fold up. So go ahead and get those now if you don't have them, and let's get started. So we'll start with a little bit of pranayama practice, a little bit of breath work. We'll start with box breathing, just to tune into our bodies, to calm the nervous system. So we'll inhale for 4, we'll hold the breath for 4, and we'll exhale for 4 and hold the breath again. So this nice little box with the breath of even time, even seconds. So go ahead and find a comfortable space. The hands can fall on the thighs or maybe the knees. Allow the shoulders to kind of slide down the back. Just to arrive, let's take a nice big deep breath in through the nose and to release out through the mouth. Good, we can do one more. Deep breath in through the nose and release out through the mouth. Good, so feel your body arrive. Give yourself an opportunity to tune in to your space, to tune into your body, your breath, your mind. So starting to take this place of just watching, noticing the breath, noticing the mind. If it's really chit-chatty today, no need to judge it. Just becoming aware. Noticing the physical body, if there's any aches, pains anywhere, something's been bothering you lately, just kind of bringing your attention there, noticing. Truly giving ourselves an opportunity to just notice what it means to be human, what it means to have thoughts, to feel the mind, to feel and notice the breath, this prana, this life force that we have. To feel the body, the physical body. So much of our day, our energy is going outward. So this time we bring that energy to circle back inward. This is what noticing and awareness does for us. Go ahead and take just another normal breath here. In and out. Good. And on your next breath in, take a slow, steady breath in through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the breath. Pause here. 4, 2, 3, 1. Slow, steady exhale out softly through the mouth or through the nose for 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, hold the breath. Inhale through the nose. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause, hold. Exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause and hold the breath. Inhale in through the nose, nice and steady, slow. Hold the breath. Exhale out. Hold the breath. Go ahead and inhale, go for 2 more full rounds in your own time, in your own count. For 4, maybe even for a 5 breath count, whatever you feel. Next, hold on after the exhale. Go ahead and finish that 4 count. Take your time and then go ahead and, when you're ready, take a breath in. Allow the breath to come out. And then releasing all force or all count or intention with the breath. Just let it be here. Let it come back to its natural rhythm with the body, with your body. And again, just see if you can notice how it feels. Notice if there's even just a little bit more clarity, more softness through the body. Good, let's go ahead and bring the hands together in heart prayer. Take a moment here to set an intention for your practice. Maybe it's just allowing yourself to be here and now, really, really embodying presence this time that you've given yourself. Be a little bit of kindness, a little extra compassion for yourself today, whatever it is that you want to call in for your practice, even your day today. Good. Take a bow down to the hands, take a full breath in, allow that breath to climb up through the spine, to the crown of the head. And exhale out. Gently open the eyes, come back into the space, and gently lift the head up here. Good, drop the hands down, inhale, reach the arms up. Good, exhale, bring them down through center. We'll just go 2 more of those. Inhale up, reach the arms up. And exhale, bring them down through center. Inhale, last time, reach the arms up. Palms come to center. Exhale, palms come down through center. Good. We'll move into our first posture, which is going to be wild knee child's pose. So we'll work through the inner groin, lengthen through the spine here. So go ahead and grab your blanket. If you're on hardwood and your mat's not thick enough, you can pad your knees with the blanket. You'll bring the big toes to touch, the knees out wide. And you'll simply start to walk the hands forward until the forehead allows you, or your body allows your forehead to meet the mat. So a few different variations here, depending on what your body allows you to do or wants from you, the kind of support you need. If you find that this is too much on your inner groin and your hips can't sink back to the heels, So you could always put a blanket or a pillow in between the calves and the bottom, and you could reach forward here. This just gives you a little bit more space. You could always take the pillow or bolster and put it in between you here to support the chest for a little bit of a softer posture. So remember that in Yin, we're finding our edge, so that point where we just start to feel the stretch and we can really settle in and let go, surrender into the posture. We'll be here for about 3 to 4 minutes. So we want to reach kind of that space, or we do want to reach that space where we can again melt into the posture where we're not going to our furthest stretch. We want to really be able to release and let go so we can find that stillness into the posture. So we can work to the deeper tissues. So go ahead and take the first few moments, find your variation, and allow yourself to settle in. Feel the fingers soften. So if you need to give the shoulders a little bit more space, you could always widen the elbows here, the arms away from the ears. Feel the toes soften. Allow yourself to come into your breath. This is a very meditative practice, so over and over again we bring our attention into our breath, into the sensations of the body. So we start to form this very intricate, loving, gentle relationship, communication with the body, with all parts really. The stillness allows us to watch and observe how the mind meets the body. The body meets the mind, so that mind-body bridge. And then spirit can start to flow into, and we can feel or sense how that connection is made. Again, through stillness, through awareness, through observation. It's still quite hot here, so there's some flies. If you see me moving a little bit, it's just the flies bothering me a tiny bit. See if you can release through the belly. Just feeling that third eye point, that third eye chakra, come into contact with the block or the floor, the mat. So in every posture, we continuously go through the same checklist of allowing the body to release, to arrive, and then to melt down. But especially in this first posture, really taking the time to prep the body for the practice, to allow the mind to start to let go, to start to loosen the knots. We really want to refrain from wiggling as much as we can once we find that edge, that place where we're going to be still, so we can sink in, so we can work deeper into the tissue. So this means past the muscles, working with the fascia, the connective tissue.
go ahead and take 3 more deep breaths here. So easy, steady breath. Inhale, slowly lifting the hips wherever they are, guiding yourself forward onto your hands and knees. And right where you are, wherever you start to land, maybe you untuck the toes and kind of sink the hips back towards the toes. I always like to do this, and it's just a little counter stretch to the toes. Come back forward, tabletop, take a breath in, drop the belly, just nice, slow, gentle movements. Exhale round from the tailbone all the way up the spine, chin to chest, cat pose. Good. Inhale, drop the belly, cow pose. Gaze can come up. Exhale, push the hands into the mat, round from the tailbone as the shoulders slide away from the ears. Cat pose. Good. Go ahead and do one more with your breath. Lovely. Inhale, come back to center. We are going to take a rebound, but we're going to take a fuller rebound of stillness after this next posture. So we're going to move into dangling pose. So tuck the toes under, walk the hands back so you drop back onto your heels, and slowly start to drop the heels. We're going to come into dangling, which is essentially a forward fold. So really important here that you have the props. A lot of us have tight hamstrings. Maybe some of us are really flexible, but really remember, even if you're really flexible, you don't have to go the full extent of what you can stretch. So again, find that first edge so you can allow the body to really melt down. So you can take a block here if you have it, put the hands down, the knees can be bent, and you can drop the crown of the head towards the mat. You can take a pillow or a bolster and do the same to raise the floor up to you. Maybe the hands fall onto the floor, and maybe you turn the palms up, and this feels good for you. You can feel into the spine, the back, so we're working through the whole back line or sheet of fascia of the back of the body. So there's 2 sheets of fascia. Fascia is within the whole body, intertwining between each cell, the nerves, the muscle fibers, everywhere. And it's plastic, so it's a more rigid than the muscles, which are elastic. Once you take a moment or a few moments to figure out where your edge is, you can again drop the chin to the chest so that the neck, the head is just dangling, the elbows come out to the sides, whatever that looks like for you. Remember that Yin is a very functional practice, so as long as you're feeling it, so through the back of the legs, the hamstrings, the calves, the spine, you're very much doing the posture. And it's not so much about how it looks in my body, or if you're doing this next to someone else and their body. So being really kind to your body, accepting that what you feel and where you feel it is where you are, and that's what you're working with. There's no expectation, there's no way it's supposed to look, if that makes sense. It's working with the now, with what is. And you will, if you keep consistent with the practice, you absolutely will feel a shift, see a shift and a change in your body, in your mind. The gifts of the Yin practice, the gifts of yoga. If you haven't already, drop into your breath. Notice your breath. Feel the feet ground into the floor, so our feet are what's constantly connecting us to the earth, that magneticism towards the very core of the earth. You can imagine that energy from the soles of the feet, even if you're inside, traveling all the way up into your body from the very core of the earth. As you dangle, sometimes this can be an intense posture. Stay with your breath and notice where you're feeling the sensation in the body. And you just have a little bit more to go here, about a minute more. So commit to that stillness. If you feel like you'd like to go a little bit further, remember you don't have to, it's all about how it feels in your body, but maybe you move the block or the pillow if that was supporting you. Bring the ground up to meet your hands. Stay with the stillness. Take 3 more deep breaths here. Good. On the next exhale, just slowly starting to flip the palms over, reach the hips back down to the heels. Allow the heels to come up. And moving really softly, gently with yourself. Move any props that you have. We're going to come all the way to our backs for our rebound. Love a rebound. So extend the legs. Come onto the elbows and just come all the way back down to your back. Allow the feet to fall apart. The palms up. And enjoy this moment of neutrality. Notice the release in your body. The way the energy has shifted and is flowing through the body already, only through 2 postures. Wiggle the toes gently, bring one knee into the chest and then the other. Give a gentle hug from side to side here, and a rock through the spine. Allow the knees to pull over to one side, and then just gently guide yourself back up to seated. Come back to your hands and knees. We're going to move into melting heart pose or anahatasana pose. If you want to pad your knees again, with a blanket or a towel, then you're more than welcome to again. Bring the knees about hip width apart. The hips stay more or less above the knees, and then slowly start to walk the hands forward until you finally start to feel the chest drop, the forehead drop towards the mat here. The tailbone sinks up towards, or tunes up towards the sky, and the belly sinks down towards the earth. So if you can let go of the belly as you arrive. If you feel like it's just too much for you in your spine, you can always take the bolster and bring it underneath the chest or a pillow. This is going to just help, again, soften the posture in the body. So really try to tune in to what your body is saying to you. So this is, again, this communication, this trust in your body that
that language is there for a reason. So we don't want any sharp shooting pain. Discomfort is something that we can be curious about and work through with the body. And again, it's a real art finding your edge and trusting yourself that you know your edge. Learning how the edge morphs and shifts and changes depending on the day, depending on your week, depending on your stress levels, what you've done physically. So really, so much that affects the body. So now we're starting to work towards the front of the body. In the last posture, we were forward folding through the fascial sheet of the back line of the body. Now we're working through the front line of the body, opening. So you should feel this through the chest, the ribs, the armpits, the inner arms. So this is working here with the long meridian through the line of the inner arms. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you could always bring the chin to the chest if this posture feels good for you, or you can stay with the forehead to the mat. The metal element is associated with autumn. Again, so this sense of letting go, just like the trees are letting go of their leaves. They're turning colors, drying up, ready to be still and quiet for the winter, cold months to come. Because then after that, we know that renewal comes, spring comes, the little buds, life starts to come about again. It's a wash. So anything that's no longer needed, it's an opportunity to shed. Let's take 3 more deep breaths here. And next, inhale. Starting from the belly, so engage just gently through the belly so that you kind of start to round through the spine and you allow yourself to shift forward all the way onto your belly. Allow maybe one cheek to come to the mat, hands down by your sides, and just release, let everything go. Take a deep breath in and a release out through the mouth. Allow your body to wrap towards the floor, to hug in towards the floor, towards the earth. If you're turning one way, go ahead and turn the cheek the other way. Good. Then come back to center. We're going to stay on the belly. We're going to continue working to the inside of the arm. So with the long meridian, let's scoot all the way over to the right side of our mat. Bring the left arm in a T. So in a T out towards the left. Good. You're going to turn onto the left cheek. I have my earbud in, so I don't want to mess it up for the sound. But turn to the left cheek. And with your right hand, elbow up. Slowly start to push into the right hand so that the right hip starts to open up towards the ceiling. Good. And then you can rest. You can rest the head, the side of the head down towards the mat. I'm not going to be able to because of the earbuds maybe here. Good. And then maybe this right knee comes up and that right foot comes to the floor. Maybe the right leg just suspends back and is long. Maybe you put a bolster or a block or a pillow in between the legs here. Good. And this right hand, so remember, whatever works for your edge. This right hand can stay on the mat. Maybe this right arm comes up and over behind, so the right finger's tucking underneath the left side of the body through the waistline. That's whatever feels best to you. Remember that edge, we want to get to a place where we can allow the body to really actually just sink, so where it doesn't feel like we are doing. This practice is all about being rather than doing, rather than achieving. There's nothing to achieve. It's simply to experience. Notice how it feels in the inner part of your left shoulder, your chest, that left arm. Notice if you're really, really holding somewhere in the body. See if you can bring your breath there and your attention there. When that happens, if you can start to release and soften that area a bit more. And if you can, if you feel like you're trembling in any way or holding with too much muscle in some way, then bring the posture back a little bit. Adjust to where you can find that space where, again, you still feel the posture in the target area, which is the inner left arm and chest. And you can still relax down. So tune in, loosen, release through the jaw, the lips. And enjoy these little packets of stillness, or pockets of stillness. These little clusters of minutes in the postures where you really just get to be with your breath and feel a gentle, slow release in the body. That doesn't mean that sometimes the postures aren't uncomfortable. Remember, discomfort, if we can be curious about it, sit in it, breathe through it, can really build resilience in our minds. Resilience before we give up and go straight back to the comfort. The pinching, shooting pain is different. Go ahead and take 3 more deep breaths here. Your next breath, slowly release the bolster if you have it in between the legs. Gently, softly release the top arm. Slowly come back onto your belly. And go ahead and just release. Maybe this left arm comes to the top. You make a pillow just for a moment for the head. Just a very short moment. Go ahead and lift the chest lightly. Bring that right arm to the mat and scoop or thread this left arm underneath. So we're going to work to the outside of the left arm now. This is the large intestine meridian line. Good. So once this left arm is threaded through, go ahead and start to allow the body to put its weight. So maybe you make a pillow with the right arm, or maybe even with the block or blanket. You can stay here if you want it to be a little bit easier. So if it's just too much sensation, you could always hike up this right leg. This will take some of the way out and help a little bit. It's an exploration of you and the posture. The other option, if you'd like to go deeper, if you're not really feeling it, would to bring this left leg and bring it up like a frog leg. So the left knee comes up and then you bring it down to the side, and this is going to bring a little bit more intensity. So I'm just going to stay in kind of this neutral space. This is enough for me. Remember, you're noticing the sensation now, the physical sensation through the back of that left arm. Coming back to your breath. Noticing if you're clenching in the buttocks or if the heels are being held up. Noticing if the fingers are in a knuckle, if you can soften them. Soften the eyes. Notice where your mind tries to go. Maybe before you notice or know it, the mind is in the past with memories flooding. Sometimes that's normal that memories kind of flood in, especially when we're working energetically through the body with these postures. But then the thing is to notice if you start to add to that story, you start to add to the story of the memories, and you start to jump around, which takes you completely out of the now. Same thing with the future. Sometimes you start to jump to the worries, to even excitements of something we've been anticipating. So maybe it comes in, the awareness is letting it flow out and catching yourself when you start to, again, add to that story, add to the thoughts. Then you start to become engaged in those places rather than the here and now, rather than in the present moment. Go ahead and take 3 more deep breaths here, slow, easy, deep breaths. On our next breath in, just moving really mindfully. Lift the head, bring that right palm to the mat, and you're gonna hike this right knee up. So you'll hike this right knee up, and you'll bring this left hand maybe to the knee, and you'll open this right hand all the way out. You might lift the back so that the left shoulder comes over to the side, bringing the shoulder blades a little bit more flush with the mat. Maybe this arm even just hangs, so you're opening now again through this right shoulder, through the chest, and finding a gentle twist through the spine. You can support this right knee with a blanket or a bolster or a block. Just reading what the body needs.
or listening to what the body needs, what your edge is right away. So as we move through the practice, then we can slowly or more easily come into the space of stillness. Once we find that edge, we know to come to our breath. We know that we can start to take a small body scan, noticing how the posture feels in a body, where we're feeling it, wherever we feel tension, guiding our breath here. And again, noticing where we're doing. What can we let go of physically, mentally, emotionally. We don't allow for these cleanses energetically, physically. This is what the colon does, the large intestine. It's constantly cleansing the body. We're constantly releasing waste through the colon and the large intestine. And we know that if we aren't able to do that, then we get backed up. It's the same thing energetically with feelings, with emotions, with our mental space. If we don't let these things pass, if we don't learn to let go of what we don't need, of the waste per se, and there's no making room for the new, things get clogged, blocked, and that's when issues start to happen. That's when the struggles start to really arise. Just a little bit longer here. Take 3 more deep breaths here. And then slowly, on that next breath, start to roll all the way back onto your back. Recenter yourself on the mat. You can hug the knees in, rock from side to side, or you can simply extend the legs long down the mat. Come into your rebound here. Take a deep breath in through the nose and release out through the mouth. Feel yourself melt down. See if you can notice a difference between the sides of the body. Can you feel the energy shifting, moving through the body, through the lines, meridian lines, as we open up, as we allow the tissues to become more hydrated, more fluid-like. More flexible. You can give the Toes, you can point them, flex through the ankles, maybe give some ankle rolls here. Take some deep breaths just before we're going to come back onto our bellies and move into the other side. As I move on to the other side, I'll be a little bit more quiet. So giving you that space to, again, come back into your body. Allow yourself to listen and notice, become aware of your experience through your practice. It's all about the yin energy, that slowing down, that softening, that more gentle feminine energy, that holding of space. Okay, so we'll start with this right arm out in a T. So this is called open wings. We'll bring the right ear to the mat. And then again with this left palm on the mat, we'll slowly push. So this right ear is on the mat. We'll slowly push into that left hand so that the hips open up to the left. And again, this side might very well feel different. Move into the posture slowly enough that you can find your edge, that you can tell the difference and know what this side needs. So again, maybe this left knee pops up. I like to keep my left leg long because when I'm here for a long time, it starts to hurt the joint of my knee. So any pain in the joints is something that you want to, again, listen to and work with. This left hand can stay here, or this left hand can come up and around. You can tuck it under the waistline if that's available to you. Sometimes this right arm can be, it doesn't have to be exactly perpendicular. It can be a little bit up or a little bit down, closer to the body. It just depends all on how it feels in your body. Once you arrive, soften through the toes. Soften through the fingers, close down the eyes. Give yourself this break. It's time to offload. We're not doing anything. Not trying to be somewhere. Not trying to do. We're just watching. We're relaxing. We are surrendering to the moment, surrendering to the experience. Just a little bit longer here. Go ahead and take 3 more deep breaths. Really slowly begin to shift and release, moving gently out of the posture. Release that top arm. And drop the hips back towards the mat. Maybe this right arm comes up, you make a pillow for a few seconds, a few moments. Take any deep releasing breaths that feel good in the body. Any sighs. Good. Now we're going to come to work to the outer edge of the right arm. This is called crossed wings. So the right arm threads underneath the left, so we're working to the outer edge of the shoulder, the deltoid, the rhomboid here of the shoulder muscle, and into, again, the fascia, the connective tissue. So feel the weight. Be mindful if you've had any surgeries on the shoulders, any injuries. So please definitely use the props and adjust the posture. This is a functional practice, so you can accommodate to those injuries. You don't want to force. We're never forcing in yin. Nothing in nature that's forced ever really truly works out. We know this about life. Everything that can be more supported and fluid is much better for our being. Good. So you can relax the head onto a pillow, onto a block, maybe onto your hand here. This might be enough. You might explore this leg coming up. If you want a little bit more sensation, you might explore this right knee coming up into a frog position. Once you arrive, soften through the glutes. Feel the hips rest heavier onto the mats. Feel the lower back release. The head be heavy on whatever it's resting upon. And the body's weight, natural weight, melts down onto that right arm, making that nice stretch here. A nice opening here. Connecting all the way into the scapula. So these postures are also really good for our posture. Opening our chest. Finding that stretch, opening, loosening, or hydrating the tissues. So when we're hunchback and we're always on our computer or our phones, we're in that so many hours of the day that our body starts to mold to that. That's what our fascia does. It starts to mold to those shapes. So we have to move, we have to sit and do the work to make sure we're not allowing our tissues to become molded into those rigid positions. Be more flexible, more hydrated. Let's go ahead and take 3 more deep breaths here. Good, on your next breath. Once again, just moving really slowly. I like to tuck the toes under just to help me here lift the chest. And then keeping this right arm under, the left knee comes over the top, and this left arm just slowly opens up to the left. So we naturally come into this twist. So you might lift the chest to set the shoulder blades a little bit more flush down to the earth. You don't have to pull or push. Set a pillow underneath that left knee over the top if you need to. Maybe this left arm is suspended in the air, as long as it feels okay, allowing gravity's natural force to open you up, open the chest up.
This is going to be our last posture of the practice. See if you can really stay committed to the stillness. Come back to your breath. If there's anywhere else in the body that you've been feeling tense, see if you can bring your breath there. See if you can release. Can you just be? It's really just 3 more minutes of your day. Soften through the jaw, soften the eyelids, the muscles of the face. Practice of Yin is such a beneficial, nutritious tonic for the body, for the mind, for the spirit. In a world where there's so much yang, and it's not that the yang is bad, it's good. It is what it is. It's what's meant to be for balance and harmony to be in place in our bodies and in our environment. We need the yang, but we equally need the yin. We need to balance that out. So there's always a lot of yang. There's always a lot of go, and not a lot of time to rest, or even just take a pause to sit with something, to sit with an experience or a thought, a realization, which then usually ends up getting harbored as stress into the body. It affects us at a more cellular, physical level. So this antidote, this beautiful medicine that you're giving yourself. It's a moment for gratitude for your body, for you choosing to be here, to be still, to commit. Let's take 3 more deep breaths. And you're ready on your next breath, slowly rolling all the way back onto your back. So a moment here to take any last gentle movement before we come all the way into our Shavasana. So maybe it's a hug of the knees and a rock from side to side. Maybe it's a happy baby, just a gentle happy baby to rock. Maybe it's a big stretch of the arms up above head, a tilt of the pelvis. So drop the legs down the mat, the hands down the mat, come into this star shape almost, just taking up the space that you need. Maybe you put the bolster underneath the knees. This can feel really good to support the lower back, especially if you have a lot of lower back pain or you sit a lot. It's just really making a comfortable space for you to completely let go. So this last few moments to let everything integrate the practice, to let the body just be in no specific posture, but the most important one, Shavasana, where we get to soak it in. This permission to enjoy the rest, a very, very productive rest.
Please feel free to stay in your Shavasana as long as you need. Sometimes it's nice to stay 10, 15, even 20 minutes. So if this is feeling good for you, give yourself that space to stay, to indulge a little bit longer. If you're ready to start to move gently, maybe wiggle the toes, the fingers softly, the fingers, palms opening up, stretching. Take a big inhale, reach the arms all the way up, big breath in. Stretch the toes and exhale here. Good, turn over onto one side and just gently guide yourself all the way back up to seated. Find that comfortable seat again. Close down the eyes. Allow the hands to rest on the thighs. Maybe you take a moment to come back to your intention of the practice. Maybe you had a realization through the practice, or you've already felt this shift in your energy, in your physical being, maybe in your mental space. So there's no need to cling to it. Whatever it is, if there is something, sometimes we come to the practice and there's not a whole lot that we feel. But if there is something, just noticing, being grateful for it for the moment, whatever it is. Bring the hands to the heart center. Taking a moment to thank yourself for making it to your mat, for your commitment to your practice, the time that you commit to spending with yourself. Taking a bow down to our hands, to one another, each other's hearts, and the practice. The light in me honors the light in me. In you, in me and you. Thank you so much. Namaste. Until next time, thank you so much for tuning in.